Hi, I'm Daniel Ambrosi. I'm based in Half Moon Bay, California, and I'm a computational photographer. I'm really excited about the potential of VR to transform the art industry in very much the same way that photography transformed the landscape painting industry, the fine art industry. At first, it was a little rough around the edges. There was some excitement and apprehension about it, but it steadily improved and created a whole new sort of art form. I see the exact same thing happening with VR now, and rather than feel threatened about it, I'm very excited about it and look forward to it and trying to help make it happen. My biggest challenge working with technology is I can only be as good as my tools. And I'll work extra hard to wring every last cycle out of the hardware that I'm using and out of the features that are available in the software that I'm using. But at the end of the day, there are limits that sometimes I can't overcome. I can do tricks here and there to try to compensate for the limitations, but ultimately, in some cases, I just have to submit to those limitations and recognize that as part of the art form, part of where we're at this time in history. Deep Dream can certainly have other applications in art across all sorts of deep learning applications as well. Of course, I think I'm most interested in the art and the creative ends, the expressive ends. That's not even what it was actually originally intended for. I sensed an opportunity to use it that way, and I think some other people have as well. If you consider the more broad subject of deep learning, not just Deep Dream itself, there are tremendous possibilities in the creative fields, in music, in video, and in design, industrial design, engineering. You know, there are so many smart, creative, generous, open people in Silicon Valley. When I discovered the potential for Deep Dream to transform my art and my art career, and I was completely stuck because it simply was not designed to operate on giant images like I'm producing, I had to turn to someone that could help. And the first person I thought of, and there are a lot of smart people in Silicon Valley, but when you think of, you know, who has the brains, is involved in the company that created the software, that is actually working in the photography field in some respect, Joseph Smar came to mind right away. He works in the Google Photos group. He happens to live in my neighborhood. You know, these sorts of serendipitous things can occur. So when I approached him with my request for help, I didn't take for granted that he would just say yes, but obviously being in this environment put me in a great position to make that happen, and it ultimately did, for which I'm eternally grateful. Our visit in Guadalajara over this long weekend has just been a real eye-opener. You know, I think, both speaking for Joseph as well, sense a real vibrant scene that really reminds me a lot of when I first came to Silicon Valley back in 1994 at the very start of the internet. You know, Silicon Valley was already well underway, of course, but you could just feel the excitement in the air. It was electric. New things were happening every day. And the attitudes of the people, the hunger to make great things happen, is something that you see happening here in Guadalajara right now. I just feel a total kindred spirit with the folks that I've been meeting here. There's just no barriers in terms of how we're communicating with each other. It's not like we have to start from scratch and explain things. It's like they've been living in Silicon Valley. And it's really exciting to kind of feel that energy. That is a complete sort of deja vu of what I saw when I first moved to Silicon Valley back in 1994. It's very exciting. I'm excited for the folks down here in Guadalajara. When we first got here to Guadalajara, the first place we went on Friday morning was this cathedral, and I had my gear with me, and I know I can make great things happen inside a cathedral, even though I haven't done so in years, frankly. I think the last one I shot was in Positano on the Amalfi Coast, actually, and that was about 3 years ago. I thought, wow, I haven't even thought about dreaming a cathedral. That could be really great. So I just saw it as a great opportunity. I'm a real opportunist. It was a beautiful cathedral. We got in there and tried to, in the least obtrusive way, capture the scene without upsetting the churchgoers. And it came together very well as a panorama. A couple days later, when I finally had a chance to choose a dreaming style and subject it to dreaming, we tried to be really selective about choosing a style that wouldn't be offensive, that would maybe feel spiritual, ethereal, maybe even inspirational, and I think we succeeded. When I woke up this morning and saw the results after Deep Dream had been busy working all night long while I was sleeping, Joseph and I were both really excited about the results. And then I realized, oh my goodness, this is my first indoor dreamscape. And that's so awesome. I almost feel like it's a gift that I can give back to the folks at StartupGDL and Wiseline for inviting us down here. It's a milestone for me, and it happened here. And I feel like that was just a huge win-win for both of us.